If Bernie Sanders isn't the leader of the Democratic Party, the only other option is Tim Walz. Yeah, he's the governor of Minnesota, and he's been flying high lately. He's undermining Kamala Harris. He's making his move for the the Democrat nomination for president in 2028. And well, he had a banner night last night going after not Trump, not Republicans, Elon Musk. Boy, that they have focus grouped this. They've market tested it, and they are bound and determined to attack Elon Musk. So take it away, Timmy.
I think Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions, but I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that. Pay your tax and do that. And let those young men who see this, now I would argue this, we're creating a false narrative from them that everybody is super rich and has Lamborghinis and life is easy. But that's what we're going to have to figure out in our society about social media and all those things. But I don't think we should be the party that demonizes someone because they're able to afford something or they're able to work hard and got something. What we should demonize is people like Elon Musk and those people that do that. And that's different.
It's different. He's not one of our billionaires. You realize that billionaires supported the Harris-Walz ticket by a factor of 2-1 in the last election, right? We shouldn't demonize for people for making money. After all, my best buddy is George Soros and his son Alex. No. We just need to demonize the right kind of billionaires, the ones who, speak out against us, the ones that don't have us in their back pockets. It's okay to demonize them, right? Did you also hear him flirting with the idea of censoring messages on social media? We got to figure out what we're going to do about social media because, young men out there are getting the wrong message. Who's to say what the wrong message is? Clearly, Tim Walz and his overlords in the government decide what the right or wrong message is. So that was a telling little clip there, too. Also, again, with the presumption, who's Tim Walz to say what a man is, or who a man is for that matter? You hear him just tossing that term around, men. Define man, Tim. You're better than anyone to be able to answer that question. So he wants to demonize Elon Musk. He specifically said we should demonize Elon Musk. Let's all demonize Elon Musk. Elon?
Fourth, I'm the largest individual taxpayer in history. So I paid $10 billion in tax, over $10 billion in tax. You're welcome. Like I sort of thought maybe the IRS would send me like a little trophy or something. Yeah, like one of those doesn't have to be expensive. It could be like one of those like things you get for when kids win a karate competition, like little plastic gold trophy or something like that, or a cookie or something. But I didn't get anything. It's and. But I was happy to pay the taxes. I don't mind,
Demonize Elon Musk because he's one of the, how did Tim Walz put it, greedy bastards who makes his money and then wants to keep it. Oh, well, the way Tim Walz said it was pay your damn taxes, right? Because see, if you object to paying taxes, what you're really saying is, I would like to keep the money that I made and not have to give more than half of it to the state and federal government. That makes you a greedy bastard, you greedy bastard. Wait, next thing you're going to start thinking is that's your money. Come on. So it's okay to demonize Elon Musk because he's a greedy bastard, because he doesn't want to pay his taxes, and he literally is the historically highest taxpayer in our nation's history. And there's Tim Walz, who has never accomplished or created or done anything with his life that anyone could call an entrepreneurial success. Again, I'm not demonizing teachers. I'm not demonizing people. Obviously, I love people in the military, but I'm saying that his entire life experience is being in the military reserves and overstating his military record to boost himself up. And the second his he got called up to actually serve in combat, he decided to retire at the last second. And he left his company hanging out there. That's exactly what his fellow soldiers in his company said. And he's been a public school teacher activist who every year has gone to Beijing, China to celebrate the communists. And then he says that someone like Elon Musk, who has taken risks, who has made money, he has employed tens of thousands. Actually, at this point, he's employed over hundreds of thousands of people in his career. He's a greedy bastard. That's the Tim Walz Democrat perspective on this country. Now, I told you that he had a banner night yesterday. Yeah, he had another event at the Minnesota State Capitol, because remember, he's actually the governor of Minnesota. His job is not to go on these tours and do jazz hands on stage and demonize private entrepreneurs. No, he's actually supposed to be the governor of Minnesota. And so he was doing an event where they were talking about the American Legion, it appears. And some military veterans in the audience took issue with his stolen valor history, and they let him hear it. Not a good look for the governor.
Welcome to the Capitol. It's great that you're here. Sir, you're welcome to come. Let me finish. Let me finish. Oh, hey, there's some passion in the real.
Yeah, that didn't go well for Tim. See, that's the problem. He can't shake his past. He can't shake his history. And he can't shake the fact that, in the words of his son, he got his ass kicked by Donald Trump. But he's their golden child. He's the guy they seem to be getting excited about there on the campaign trail. Either that, or he's just filling the vacuum right now because other Democrats just don't want to have anything to do with the brand. They don't want to go out there and do much on behalf of the party. And Tim's like, I'll go. Send me out there. I love this. And the people love me. Okay. We love Tim, but for very different reasons. And in fact, we love Tim's appearances when they're caught on video, so we can show them to you when they happen, but then also go back to them weeks later and remind you what Tim Walz said. Like this gem right here, when he was doing a little stand-up routine in front of a crowd of rabid communists there, calling themselves Democrats, and he was demonizing Elon Musk, as he seems to do every single time. Take a look at this. Remember?
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So.
Yeah, that was when he was rooting against an American company that makes American automobiles in America. In fact, if you look at automobiles made in America right now from the major manufacturers, and you break down the percentage of their cars that are actually sourced and made in America, including the parts and components, there is literally no other car in America, made in America, that is as American as Tesla. And they employ, I believe Tesla employs over 80,000 people. And by the way, if you care about carbon emissions, which I don't, but if you do, if you're one of those people, I would think you'd like Tesla because, it's an electric powered vehicle. Last I checked, these guys were big champions of electric vehicles. But see, Elon Musk votes the wrong way, so he must be destroyed, and his company must be destroyed. So there he was just a few weeks ago celebrating the Tesla stock because it was, having a few rough days there because lunatic domestic terrorists were actually firebombing Tesla dealerships and Tesla cars themselves. The problem is, if you literally have that app on your phone to give yourself a good mood every day, if you're feeling down and you check that stock, and as Tim Walz just said, it gives you a little boost when you see it having a rough day. Let me tell you something. Yesterday was really, really rough for Tim Walz. Tesla actually was the single best performing stock on the planet yesterday, after President Trump made his announcement pausing the tariffs for every country except for China, ramping them down to 10% for 90 days, and then going mano a mano with China, because the entire tariff policy was always about China, just like we've been telling you for the last 10 days, while the rest of the media and Democrats like Tim Walz and Chuck Schumer were all screaming their heads off and demanding that Trump stop the tariffs, which he technically did yesterday, but then they were angry about that too. While they were all saying that the sky was falling and the economy was doomed, right here, every single day, we were telling you, don't get distracted by that. This entire policy is about China. It's about isolating China. In fact, we said it yesterday on the program before Trump made his announcement, if you were watching, that this entire end game is about China. But because of the provisions within the World Trade Organization, Trump couldn't just go after China. He had to declare a trade emergency, which meant every country got tariffs that we initiated. And then all those countries started negotiating directly with us. That's when Trump made his announcement in the afternoon yesterday and said, this is about China. Where did you hear that before? You heard it on this show. It was always about China. And here we are. We're finally having the confrontation that's been delayed and ignored and denied for decades by your leaders. Donald Trump is literally doing exactly what he said he would do when he ran for president. He is utilizing tariffs to fix the cheating and fix the imbalance that China has been exploiting. And we are now in the driver's seat, and everybody who panicked for the last 10 days because they were watching cable news or some less reputable podcasts, well, now they've learned a very valuable lesson. You should just listen to Larry.